Hey gang, welcome to another version of Ridiculous. And today we're going to talk about air inflation systems. So I found out the hard way last week that even on the smallest of dirt roads, you should air down. Or, well, let's just say the seat of my pants still hurts a little bit. I have been working on this for quite a few months, but I hadn't finished my research in my project, and I decided that this week, after that experience, I was going to go ahead and finalize my plan. And what I came out with was that, there's a lot of people out there with air compressors that they either carry in their car or they installed in the Jeep. I didn't want to carry an air compressor in the car because all the components are quite large, quite big, and also they're very expensive, and they fill up your car very slowly. And I didn't want to install one inside the Jeep for a couple of reasons, but the actual the worst reason is because I ran out of switches on my pod, so I will have to do a new pod and a new switch, and I don't want to make holes in the car or anything like that, so I decided, I'm not going to do that. And then, of course, I got into the air tank systems, and they look cool, but I thought they were really expensive for what they are, so I decided I still want to have an air tank CO2 system, but I am sure that I can make this on my own. And I did a bit of research, and I'm going to show you now what I found out. Here is what I'm going to be building right now, and it's a 10-pound CO2 tank system. I bought this tank in Amazon, and some 150 psi set regulator. Okay, and I bought an AirB tire deflator. It's right here, in an AirB pump up air compressor pump kit. Now, a lot of you will be saying out there, well, why don't you just get little inflation valve deflators for the Ford tires? I'm still going to do that, but I did want to have a good tire deflator that did quickly with a gauge. I'm going to have that as a backup anyway, and the cost of it actually wasn't too bad. It was about $38, and I think for a good quality deflator to have is not such a bad idea. Same thing with the hose and the installation kit from AirB. I could have gone to Harbor Freight and got some cheapies there, but that kit was $40. The price difference between that and what I'm going to get at Harbor Freight may be $20, and that might be a lot, but it's not quite enough of a savings when you're out in the field and something goes wrong. So for extra $20, I got something that's a little bit higher quality. Okay, now a couple of things to know about the tank. Read a lot online about Amazon tanks and how they sometimes you get stuck with some Chinese tanks. Those are no good because nobody will fill them up. They gotta be tanks. These tanks are also they expire after a while, so you gotta make sure that they are being inspected and they're stamped with a recent inspection and stamp area. And also the valve has to be a 320A rated valve, and you can get all that in Amazon. So anyway, this tank will cost me about $110. Similar tank system with everything that you have here, maybe with a few of the bells and whistles. From a power tank, for example, will start at $400 and up. There's other cheaper brands, but they are cheaper manufacturers, so you get what you pay for there. But this system is just as good as a power tank system with the components. Okay, it doesn't have gauges at the top or a handle, and getting a tank with a handle is not such a big deal. It's easy, but for some because I'm ridiculous, I didn't get one with a handle, which was my bad. But you really don't need the gauges at the top. They really don't do anything, especially since your regulator is all fixed, and you're not really going to be able to tell with the gauges if the tank is full or not. You do that by the weight. So that's important. I just filled this tank, and I gotta go and weigh it. I know that it weighs 14 pounds, actually 13.6 pounds. It's stamped right there, and I confirmed with the tank empty. So that will help me determine when the tank is full and when the tank is empty. Here we are. We just arrived at the Cleghorn Ridge Trail, and I'm about to go ahead and try to roll down. So let's see what this is all about. We gotta insert this into the valve, and then what it's going to do is it's going to take the valve out and allow me to use this to take the air out of the tires, and then I can check where I am at with the pressure. Once you do that, you put the valve back in with this, and you're good as gold. You remove the valve cover, obviously, okay, and then you screw in the deflator into the valve all the way in. And then this knob over here, what it does is it engages the valve, and there it is, it's engaged. Now I'm going to unscrew it. Unscrew the whole valve, and when it's in a good place, it comes all the way out. Sorry. And then this modulates when air comes in and comes out. So here we go. Where are we at right now? We're at 35 psi. Let's see how long it takes to go to 17. There you go, 17. Once we're done with that, we insert the valve again, and we unscrew it, making sure we don't over tighten. Obviously, we don't over tighten either. We unscrew this, and there it is. Boom. That is very much all there is to it. Now I gotta do it to the other 4 tires. At the end of the trail. Well, here we are. We're at the bottom of the trail now, and it's time to air up. So, Archie, what did you think about that? Let's go through the steps of airing up the tires. We're done. down to 17 psi. Then to get back to 39, 40 psi is basically a minute on the timer on the CO2 tank for each tire, and it's done. So that was pretty good. You can see behind me over here, we got a bunch of people dealing with air hoses. They will take a lot longer than me. They started pretty much at the same time, and they're not going to be done for a while. Anyway, time to get back home.